I'm focused and ready and definitely not getting any of these wrong. It's Premier League predictions time. It's round 11 in the Premier League. As ever, I'll be predicting the outcome of each and every game this weekend. Get your thoughts in via the comments. You've got a Friday night deadline this week, so jump to it. Did I disgrace myself again with my last set of predictions? Find out at the end of the show. Leeds versus Arsenal. I think we've all been surprised how good Arsenal have been. The narratives about easy starts and away form have been debunked, frankly, in the last three with wins over Spurs and Liverpool, plus exercising the ghost of Brentford away from last season. It's been a poor run from Leeds lately. Maybe they would have beaten Forest at that time in that postponed match, but it's now 5 winless. Think momentum is key here, and we'll back the Arsenal. Away! Liverpool versus Manchester City. This has been the blockbuster fixture of the last few seasons, with Klopp and Guardiola separated by the proverbial cigarette paper. Last season's these games were absolutely tremendous, with 2 2-2s and a 3-2 to Liverpool, but it doesn't feel quite as even this season. And Liverpool are all of a sudden halfway down the table and in decline, while City and their new megastar striker look better than ever. So fairly confident. Away! Tottenham versus Everton. Spurs bounce back from North London derby defeat well to win at Brighton, but can't afford too many slip-ups given the pace from the two sides above them. Everton look better than I thought they'd be, but probably aren't quite ready to be ruffling the feathers of the teams at the top yet, despite looking pretty capable of those in the lower positions in the table. Spurs being on their patch really seals the deal for me. Home! That's the top 3 done and dusted. Before we continue, do us a huge favour. Hit the like button. Aston Villa versus Chelsea. Things at Villa seem to have taken a turn for the worse lately, with the Villa away fans seemingly turning a little on Stevie Gerrard after the draw at Nottingham Forest on Monday night. It does feel a little as though the up and atom football we saw at the start of Gerrard's reign has become a little overly pragmatic. More problematically for Villa, they're up against a Chelsea side who look like they're just getting going under Graham Potter. Away! Manchester United versus Newcastle. Newcastle have slipped into that top 6 after back-to-back wins. 9 goals in the last 2, and midfielder Guimaraes getting plenty of plaudits. In order to cement themselves as a new top 6 presence, the Magpies will have to beat one of the top sides eventually. Their wins so far have come against Brentford, Fulham and Forest. Manchester United are looking a bit more reliable, but I think I'm down the middle on this one. Draw! Brentford versus Brighton. Friday night's game has got me a little bit confused, I must admit, with both sides arguably on a slight trend down. Admittedly, it's a high bar for Brighton, but it's 1 point in 2, albeit against Liverpool and Spurs. Brentford have the same total from games with Bournemouth and Newcastle. The two clubs feel pretty comparable, obviously with Brighton a fair bit further down the line. I think it'll be tight, but honestly, I'm landing on Brighton. Away! Can you imagine keeping up with all this football for the channel? I love it, but thankfully there's help from apps like OneFootball that you can download absolutely free by following the link down in the description. OneFootball gives me news, info and stats on all the games we're predicting, and the who will win polls are rather useful, I have to say. If you like the Italian game, you can watch highlights, and one game is streamed within the app for free every Saturday night. That's OneFootball. Don't go via the App Store. Download for free via the link in the description. Fulham versus Bournemouth. These two led the way in the Championship last season, pretty much coast to coast, and they've both started very well up in the big league. Fulham have dropped off a little with 3 defeats in 4, but are miles off the bottom. Bournemouth are even higher and have a 5-game undefeated streak under interim boss Gary O'Neill. Both these games were excellent last season. Remember that brilliant kick-off goal from Solanke? They also both ended 1-1. Draw! Southampton versus West Ham. West Ham have sprung up the table off back-to-back wins, catapulting themselves above Southampton, whose run of 4 straight defeats has Ralph Hasenhüttl leading the way in the next Premier League manager to get sacked list with the bookies. Saints need a West Ham-like surge themselves. Problem is, I think the Hammers are just getting started and Southampton might be in for a tumultuous pre-World Cup period. Away! Leicester versus Palace. Am I the only one who thinks of Steve Claridge shitting in the winner in the playoff final when it comes to these two? Anyway, the other side is in great nick here. Palace may be on a bounce back after beating Leeds, but then I thought that about Leicester after they beat Forest. They went straight and lost to Bournemouth. I'm not sure I really fancy either side, so I'll go for the obvious again. Draw! Just one more to go. If you've got this far, you may as well hit that subscribe button. You know you want to. Wolves versus Forest. At time of recording, Wolves haven't yet hired a new boss. Forest have just given theirs a new contract. It looks like they're going to try and dig in a little bit and go Big Sam, clean sheets and draws keep you up as they try and stabilise their form type approach. Wolves aren't the most goal-heavy side known to man either. Surely it's all going to be a very tight, very low-scoring draw. I asked at the top of the show, did I disgrace myself last time? I actually didn't for once. 5 out of 10, I'll always take. Anything more is a bonus. Can I put anyone in the expectation defiers club this week? I.e., did anyone I said would lose actually win? Yeah, of course. But it's just Bournemouth this week. I said they'd lose to Leicester, and they only went and beat them, so well played. The Cherries, quite the come down for them, their Foxes, who had beaten Nottingham Forest 4-0 on the Monday. Well, to find out all about that game, click here, and you'll see my lovely vlog.